I got slippers for Christmas. I know what I'm wearing for the next pajama day at school. Well, I mean, not just the slippers. I'm going to be wearing pajamas, but unicorn slippers. Why is it that whenever I decide to film up here in my mezzanine, I realize that I've got to do cleaning? Like, oh my God, I need to vacuum my carpet. Hi. So I don't know what I want to talk about. I mean, I did make myself a list. I You know, I have a list. But when you read the news, and maybe I shouldn't be reading the news, when you read the news and you discover we have over 13,000 cases, it's like, why aren't we shutting down? Why aren't we shutting down? It's almost as if, and this is my take on it, it's almost as if somebody, like the governments, they're basically waiting for who's going to go first. Who's going to call it first? And they're waiting because they don't, I mean, that's the feeling I'm getting. They don't want to be the one that called it first. They, you know, they don't want to be accused of, you know, panicking or creating a mountain out of a molehill. But let me let you in a little secret. At 13,000 cases, the mountain is already there. The mountain's already there. And now the government is saying, if you do the rapid tests, please don't come and get yourself tested again if you test positive. Oh, Lord. Okay, that's a lot to unpack. And I mean, I could spend a solid hour talking about how nonsensical that statement is, but yeah. So it's easy to look at 2021, especially in the last few days of 2021, and consider it another dumpster fire. Like if 2020 was dumpster fire A, dumpster fire B was 2021. I get it. And it's very easy to complain. I'll put a link to my video that I filmed about last year about complaining and resolutions and wanting change. So it's very easy to look at what's happened this year and compare it to things that we have deemed as normal. But I often say, it's normal according to whose standards? Like, was it ever normal to go on 4 or 5 trips a year? Just saying. Was it ever normal to cram 20,000 people into an arena and watch a show? You know, and like the singers about yay big, you know, I don't know. Was that ever normal? Was it ever normal to be in a restaurant, you know, on a Sunday morning? I know you're gonna say, I don't know how to cook. Well, I got things to say about that. So I am going to look at 2021, and I had made some resolutions. And I use the term resolutions very loosely because I don't believe in resolutions. Because if you want to change, why are you waiting for January 1st? Why? If you want to change, you can pick any day in the calendar and change. So I basically set some goals, some general goals of what I would like to accomplish this year, well, this past year. So this video is going to be about that. It's going to be going over what I've done the last year and kind of like assess more or less what I've done. So I'm going to be abundantly clear. I was looking for change in 2021, but I guess change wasn't ready for me. You know, I was at the doorstep of change. Hello, I'm ready. But change wasn't answering. I am being very, I don't want to say flippant. I'm being very funny about it. Okay, some of you are gonna say, that isn't funny, Madame la Prof. Look, when I realized that change was not going to happen for me this year, I was not in a good headspace. I was not in a good mood. But I have to look at it as a learning experience, and I have to look at it from a perspective of process and make a video about it. Ha! So yeah, I was looking for change and change wasn't ready. But 2021 wasn't a horrible year for me. Really? Really, it wasn't a horrible year for me. And I'm putting aside everything that is COVID related because for many of my colleagues, it was not an easy year. And I understand that and I appreciate that. So what I'm relating and what I'm sharing is my own perspective. It's what I went through. So one of the things that I said I was going to do was that I was going to read more. And I did. Ha ha ha. And I'm including audiobooks because I'm not the kind of person who does audiobooks, but I did. I recently finished The Storyteller by Dave Grohl, and it is chef's kiss. It was awesome. Oh my God. It's narrated by Dave Grohl, and it was entertaining, it was touching, it was moving, it was emotional. Like I got weepy. And I'm not spoiling it, but if you were on the fence and it's like, musical biography, I'm not sure, go for it. So I'm including audiobooks in there, and I'm including also podcasts because I never really liked the idea of podcasts. I mean, it was never something I was into to begin with, but I recently got into it thanks to the Terry and Ted podcast. And I got into it and I started looking for different podcasts. And some of the other books that I've read, I read The Black Friend, which I have, here. I have here, and it was a really good read. It was a really good read, and it was a bit of an eye-opener for me. There were some things in there that I understood because of my path, the path that I had followed through life, and there were some things that were like, duh. But I think that for a lot of people, this is an eye-opener. I read another book also on Black Lives, and of course the title escapes me. I'll put it in the description. And I finished it at the start of 2021 because I started it in November. I also read the Anthropocene Reviewed, which is somewhere over here. I read the Anthropocene Reviewed, and it was so good that I started listening to the podcast. I had already listened to the podcast, stopped, and then I read the book and it was amazing. So I made the point of reading more But I've always been a picky reader. I've always been super picky, and I'm the kind of person, if it doesn't click in the first 2 or 3 chapters, I'm dropping it. I am dropping it like a hot potato. But I'm like that. So yes, I accomplished something. Yay. Did I run 10K? Yes. I didn't run 20, but I told myself I don't have to run. I could make a kind of like a walk-run combo, and that's what I did. And I must say, I'm very proud of myself because I did 12 kilometers. I don't know how much it is in miles. You do the math. I'm a French teacher. C'est pour ça que je suis prof de français puis pas prof de maths. Demandez-moi pas le calcul. Did I create new cosplays? Yes and no. I worked on cosplays that I already had, Killua, but I also worked on a couple of other cosplays, and I even included them in a past video. I'll put a link over, like somewhere there, somewhere over here. I'm not too sure. And I'm kind of proud because, like, okay, I'm comfortable doing them. And I could go to a cosplay convention, I could go to a Comic-Con, I could go to an anime convention and display my cosplay, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I also finished my first certificate for my educational leadership, kind of, sort of. It's not a master's, but it's like right a notch below master's. I finished the first certificate. Yay! I'm very happy. I finished the first certificate. So now we're ending 2021. I'm really happy with all of the things that I accomplished. And I said to myself, I need to set myself some more goals. So I did this. I did this last night, and I don't know why I folded it. I'm kind of like annoyed I folded it, but I did this. Yay! And I think what I'll do is that I'll take a picture of it, and I will include it in the video towards the end. And if you want to, mock my drawing skills, you've got nothing better to do. I'm going to read off of like what I'm doing. I'm going to read more. I'm going to stick to that goal because it's what wrong can come out of this? Reading more. I don't see anything bad coming out of that. I'm going to continue walking and running more. I'm going to set myself definitely a goal of making sure I hit that 12K, but at least aiming for a 15K. And I know where I can go to ensure I hit that goal, and I'm going to make sure I reach that. I'm going to learn more, and it goes at the same time with reading, because some of the podcasts that I'm listening to are educational, like the 1619 Project, which is a podcast that I strongly recommend, is all about learning about the experience and the hardships and the struggles that African Americans and slaves went through, and it's definitely worth a listen. But I'm also listening to Crash Course African American History, and it's definitely an eye-opener. I'll put a link also in the description. Definitely worth a watch and a listen. I'm also going to get rid of old stuff. I tend to hoard a lot of old papers and old documents and old books. Like, do I really need 15 French grammar workbooks? No. So I'm going to be doing a bit of purging. I did some during the Christmas break. I intend on doing some more. And I think I'm not going full Marie Kondo here. I'm not hugging. I'm not thanking the usefulness. No, I am going through the things that I own, and if I haven't touched it in the last 2 years, time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye if I haven't touched it in 2 years. I don't want to say if I haven't touched it in a full year. You never know. But my benchmark now is between a year and 2. Yeah. I'm going to get rid of old stuff. I'm going to create. And this is a bit hard because it involves work. I'm going to try and create more meaningful lessons or units, which means more fun units, which means maybe relinquishing control. I think one of the better moments in 2021, and I'm including part of 2020 because of the school year, was when I told my students, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And it allowed for the students to take control of what they were learning. And they only realized it towards the end of the school year when I pointed out, hey, we didn't actually do anything in the book and you called the shots in everything that we were learning. And they were surprised. They were surprised. They were happy, but they were surprised. And I want to be able to do more of that, which means a lot of preparation, a lot of planning, and I want to be able to refresh the content that I'm doing. So I want to be able to do that, and because I've always said, complacency is a horrible vice, and you get comfortable in your routine, you get comfortable in what you're doing. You get comfortable in your very set lessons, and I'm starting with this, I'm doing this. But sometimes you need to throw caution to the wind and try something new. So I'm hoping to do that in 2022. Which means you need to embrace unpredictability. Things need to be a bit unpredictable, and I want to be able to do that. But you're going to say, Madame la Prof, you're flexible, you're adaptable. Unpredictability is your middle name. No, no. I like some structure and I like some control. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I want to be an agent of change more than the kind of person that sits back and waits. So I have to be a bit more open-minded, because things can happen at the very last minute and you don't know what to do. And I want to be able to have that resiliency, and this can come flying in my face. I can like, maybe in December 2022, I'm going to show this and I'm going to say, yeah, that was an utter fail. Who knows? But I want to have that mindset. I want to have that approach. So on that lovely note, I know I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to make another video until the new year. So I hope you have a very safe. Protect yourself. Have yourself a very safe New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and I will see you very, very soon. Bonne journée.